And let me show you this. When the scripture says, I've said this, I've been studying the Torah, which is the books that Moses wrote from the eyes of rabbis. And I came to the conclusion from an insight I received. And then I found the scripture to back this. But that's not what I want to sit on just today. That when the scripture says that a person's labors will be found in the house of a stranger, what actually caused the problem was what the person was saying. In other words, nobody will reap the benefits of the labor of their hands if they, with their mouth, are involved in gossip where they walk. Now, put back that Ecclesiastes scripture. In fact, when I quoted it and I looked at it, that scripture came again to me. Now, look at what it says. Suffer not. Now, when I look back, it was when I realized what it was saying again. Before I get into the scriptures, I know I just saw it now. Suffer not to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel, it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hands? In other words, be angry but sin not. So you speak words of anger in an office, you destroy the work of your hands. Listen, what should accrue to you in life? The social capital that should come out, your networks. Because working diligently is not just about, all right, being paid. You are forming relationships and bonds, and people in that place will introduce you and open up doors for you. This is how the blessing comes. How did Joseph become prime minister? Somebody who was with him where he walked introduced him to the king. How did Mordecai sit at the right hand of the king? Because somebody who experienced. Now you destroy that capital within your network when you speak words that are injurious to other people. Wipes it out. So it tells us in Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 9. I said this. Now, the problem is we only taught confession just as me saying the right thing, trying to make it happen. Proverbs 5:9. Lest thou give thy honor unto others and thy years to the cruel. Proverbs 5:10. Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labor be in the house of strangers. And thou mourn at last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed. And say, how have I hated instruction, my heart despised reproof. That's correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers. That at the end of your life, you look back and say, I disobeyed instruction. This instruction. It says, I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation. Evil speech. Proverbs 12 and verse 14 says it all. Proverbs 12 and verse 14. A man, listen to this, shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hand shall be rendered unto him if what is coming out from his lips. That's if not, if you are saying the wrong stuff, it says you will not be recompensed. Put that scripture again up here, which means you won't get the recompense, and the recompense of a man's hand shall be rendered unto him. This is how people waste labor. It is referencing how evil communication with others deprives the Christian of the fruits of their labor. It wipes out social capital. Now, these are secrets, I'm telling you.